Hey guys, Kyle, the Dead Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Black Clover episode 33, and I am so sorry that I didn't. I'm so sorry I didn't do this one yesterday, guys. It's just, okay, one thing you guys need to understand about me is that when it comes to Tuesdays, Tuesdays are my Mondays. Tuesdays are there are definitely times for Tuesday where I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do anything. Not even watching. I end up in such a mood a lot of times on Tuesday that half the time not even watching anime is even good enough to kind of really in order to get my spirits up. So yeah, if you're wondering why, it's because I just couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't do the review yesterday. It's just because I couldn't freaking do it at all yesterday. I was too. Ugh, my mind was too scrambled. My mood was just too shit. So yeah. Anyway, let's stop talking about me and let's talk about what you guys are all here for, which is my review, of course. And so this was so honestly, this was actually one of those episodes where it started off like okay, and then it just went to 100 in it just went to 100 in around the end of this around the end of this around the end of the episode. Like it went from 50 to 180 in like in like a manner of the beat of the last episode of the last moments of the episode for sure. So and but anyway, in the beginning we get a interesting bit of exposition from Teresa that showcases there are two types of mana control in this world. The first is the normal kind, which you produce from your body, but the second kind is the mana from nature that you actually have to learn to control with training. Like you actually have to you actually have to train your mind and your body in order to commune with the I guess the mana spirits of nature in order to use the power of the mana around you pretty much. And it does give us an insight into exactly what those mana birds are that Yuno had summoned during the Royal Capital uh, invasion. Like it wasn't an ability that was strictly that was strictly that himself strictly has. It was actually him just it was actually him controlling the pretty much the mana around him in order to defeat the witch bitch. But so yeah, it wasn't his own mana. It was the mana of nature he was using, which I guess makes sense considering his power is the power of wind. So and wind is part of nature, and and I'm sure there are gonna be people who call out on being hacks after this, but if you really think about it, I, if you really look at that fight again, I don't think really even was aware or even fully comprehended what exactly he had done. I think he had just actually controlled. I think he had controlled the mana around him on like in just like a spur of the moment, a reactionary thing. Like I don't think he actually managed to control it yet, but this does actually offer us a preview of basically how that did offer. Looking back, that did actually offer us a preview of how exactly strong Yuno can actually become if and when he actually learns to control definitely the mana of the mana in nature for sure. And we finally get full and on the big one of the bigger things in this backstory in this episode, of course, was that we get full disclosure on Gauch and Marie's backstory, and I really feel that it was messed up in the way they showed how easily nobles are willing to literally stab each other in the back to become richer and more famous than each other. I also like how this episode gave us insight into just how deep Gauch's trust issues go. I mean, if I had to guess just based on this episode, I'd say he didn't even trust anyone in his. At this point, I don't think he trusts anyone up until the point of what's going to happen after this episode. I don't think he trusted anyone, even in his own squad. Like especially Yami, his own captain. Like even though Yami basically extended the hand to him to join the Black Bulls. Like I think even after Gauch had joined, I really don't think he really even trusted Yami all that much. He just kind of trusted it as, hey, Yami's my boss. I got to do what he says. But I don't think, aside from that, I don't think there was really ever any trust between him and Yami. But now that Gauch has kind of let down his walls, so to speak, I think he's gonna start trusting a lot more too. And it's one of those things where I understand not being able to trust people after an incident, like specifically what Marie and Gauch had gone through. I mean, for God's sakes, their parents were basically were killed because some asshat wanted to be more famous and richer than their parents. So I'm like, which that in itself is like, what the fuck kind of world is this? If the nobles are willing to stab each other in the back, like that's just even more fucked up than. Honestly, I think that's even more fucked up than nobles actually treating commoners as shit. Like holy crap. But anyway, anyway, I understand not being able to trust people after an incident like that, but completely shutting yourself off is not healthy either. And I love how the combination of Marie's words of motivation to Gauch and seeing Asta still fighting just shattered pretty much practically everything he believed in. Yet, pretty much practically everything he believed in, or at least in this one moment, his all his ideals about humanity were basically shattered by Asta's actions. Like I think Gauch might still have some trust issues with other people, with probably other people that he doesn't know. But in terms of I think this is definitely Gauch's starting point in learning to trust people. He definitely has around him, like the friends, the people he knows. I think he's gonna learn to start trusting them a lot more for sure. Now, like I said, I like how his whole beliefs were just shattered by those two things. Like seeing Asta still fighting, and Marie's words just shattered him, of course. And I like how it didn't waste any time in pretty much getting to Gauch saying, okay, fuck this, I'm gonna fight with my friend now too. So I like how they didn't really like expand, didn't really try and drag it out all that much too. Of course, shit didn't really start truly hitting the fan until the end, when the leader of the Midnight Eye, Licht, showed up and just wrecked both Teresa and pretty much the other guy. I think it was Neji. Yeah, in a single instant. Which at this point, I think we can assume they're dead, especially based on Black Clover's track record. Like death is the one thing that Black Clover seems to that Black Clover doesn't really even seem to totally screw up. Like death, like Black Clover does know to take death a lot more seriously than something like Fairy Tail will. So I don't think we have to worry about a half-assed resurrection on those two either. But Licht's power isn't even the biggest thing in the end of the episode, but rather the fact that he has a Four Leaf Clover Grimoire like Yuno. So that opens up a whole new realm of questions, like how many of those things there actually are like that, and what are the real purpose? Because as far as that second question goes, I have a feeling that however many more of the Four Leaf Clover Grimoires exist are meant to help seal away whatever it is the Midnight Sun is trying to resurrect. So, yeah, however many of these more exist, well, it is showing that they are going to be playing a bigger role for sure later in the series. Also, maybe I'm imagining it, but did the power that Licht was using look an awful lot like the power the first Wizard King had when he went up against that demon? I don't think it's just me, and if what I saw is real, then that means two possibilities here. Either Licht discovered the Wizard King's old Grimoire, or he's managed to harness the same kind of power that the first Wizard King possessed. But either way, it proves that there's more to these, Four Leaf Clovers than meets the eye, and it's pretty much like it cements that the first Wizard King did in fact have one of these one of these Four Leaf Clover Grimoires when he became the first ever Wizard King and the first one to achieve that kind of rank and power. So yeah, it really just, like, this episode just really kind of opened up so many possibilities for these Four Leaf Clover Grimoires and their role in the story. But I can't wait to see what it's going to be. So but yeah, guys, that's my review. Enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Night of Enemy, signing off.